Well, hello, welcome to Tardis Talk. I am the Reverend Deborah Woolsey, and I'm the rector of the Episcopal Church of the Good Shepherd in Athens, Ohio. And this, of course, is the Tardis, the doctor's ship that can travel anywhere through space and time. And the reason I'm standing here with this Tardis is about a year and a half ago, my husband made this replica of the Tardis to put in front of my church building. It was supposed to be just a way to promote a fall program that I was doing called The Gospel According to Doctor Who, where we explore the Judeo-Christian themes in the long-running BBC television program of which Doctor Who, of which I've been a fan for since I was 4 years old. And my church is located in the middle of Ohio University. And right away, as you might imagine, it got a lot of attention from students and faculty and staff. And people would come up to me and ask, why is there a TARDIS in front of your church? And actually, many of my parishioners had the same question. And it's a great question, and it began a wonderful conversation. And the reason why I chose the TARDIS is that I believe that the TARDIS can represent the church when the church is at its best. For example, for all the characters on the show, Doctor Who, and for a lot of us fans, the TARDIS represents hope. And it represents that we're not alone. And in a world where there's so much, violence and anger and division, the TARDIS reminds us that there's another way, the Doctor's way. And when the church is at its best, we also remind people that there is another way, a way of collaboration, of working together, and of peace. Another way that the TARDIS can represent the church when it's at its best is the TARDIS, its chameleon circuits got stuck so that it looks like a police box from England, like from the early 1960s. And that was a time when it represented a place where people could go to call for help. And now in the show, when you see the TARDIS, you know that the Doctor is around somewhere and that help is not far away. And likewise, the church, when the church is at its best, we try to help as best we can. And sometimes it doesn't quite work out, like on Doctor Who, but the point is that when we do try and do what we can be a place of help. Like now, during this COVID-19 pandemic, the best way we can help is to shelter in place and to not hold church services or meetings in our building. This is us trying to help as best we can in this time. And then another way that the TARDIS can be like the church when the church is at its best is we all know that the TARDIS is bigger on the inside. And in the world of sci-fi, that is explained that it's Time Lord technology that makes it bigger on the inside. Well, the church, when we are at our best, is bigger on the inside when we make room for everyone, regardless of age, gender, race, sexual orientation, gender identification, politics, all those things that can divide us. When we make room for all of that, we are being bigger on the inside. And it's a way that we can represent the love of God in Jesus, a love that shows us how to make room for others. And it's a love that, no matter how big a cathedral could be on the inside, for example, is always growing and expanding as we grow. Now, before the COVID-19 pandemic, that is where I would stop. But since the pandemic, I think there's one other way that the TARDIS represents the church when we are at our best. The TARDIS is not locked down or rooted into one place or time, but travels anywhere and everywhere through space and time. And during this pandemic, when we cannot meet in our church buildings, the TARDIS reminds us that the church was never a building. The church is all of us. And no matter where we are, we can be that symbol of hope and help and to be bigger on the inside. We can show love, we can express hope, and we can help as best we can wherever we are. And that is why the Tardis is not in front of our church building right now, but is in my backyard, to show that no matter where we are, even if we have to shelter in place, we still are the church. And the Tardis can hopefully inspire us to be our best, no matter where we are. Thank you for joining me for this Tardis Talk. I hope you will join me for more, and that this talk was a blessing on your day.